If you love talking about cats, but your friends and family are kind of over it, this is the podcast for you. Join your hosts, Danielle Woolley and Elizabeth Calico Gearhart, on the Jersey PodCats, where everyday cat lovers share funny stories, challenging situations, and ask their questions about cats. All right, let's get right into this episode.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle Woolley.
And I'm Elizabeth Gearhart, and we are the Jersey PodCats. Hey, so we're doing another episode with just the two of us because we just enjoy talking to each other so much about cats, and we hope you enjoy listening to us because I'm sure you can identify with some of the things that we say.
Yeah. Do you like how we're like, oh, we're going to take a break for the summer, and then we're texting each other like, oh, well, let's just do a quick one about this. Oh, wait, let's talk about this really quick.
Yeah.
A surprise.
Yay. So we were going to talk about some of the cat facts and fantasies and myths, maybe. So I want to start with something my mother told me. My mother told me a cat can always get out of a locked room. That's not true. She's
I've never heard that.
She used to tell me that all the time. Maybe because I was a little kid and I wanted to let the cats in my, out or whatever. And no, cat can't always get in or out of any place.
So if you look at the door behind me, if you're watching on YouTube, I think maybe because we don't really close that door that often because it's our office door, that my cats know how to open that door, whether it's locked or not. But that's just because the door doesn't close properly.
I know. Well, and I have to leave the door to my study where I do these podcasts from open a little bit because the cats otherwise would heave their bodies against it and scratch at it because they
But just to kind of do a throwback to the last episode, we were begging our cats to come hang out with us during the episode. They won't, but if we close the door, that's what we're going to do our next recording. We're going to close the door and they'll be like, oh, sorry, you can't come in.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a funny thing with Max just as we're getting started. So he came, I was on the sofa, I had my legs up and I had a blanket, and he came and he laid on the blanket against my legs and he just stared at me until I acknowledged him and looked at his face. And he's been doing that lately. He's just staring at me do you even see me? Do you know I'm here? It's so funny.
Yeah, the only strange thing my cats have been doing lately, which isn't really strange, it's predictable. And part of the reason why I think Brian can pick them up and hold them and touch them more than I can is one, I have longer nails. So I think they associate, when I'm playing with them, if I'm scratching them, if I do anything like this to their neck, they cringe and run because they think I'm giving them an injection or sneaking the flea medicine to them. And actually, I don't know if I shared this, but during one of my emotional breakdowns that I
had, we all have those.
Well, because I was getting frustrated because it was really, really busy with the rescue season. And this was a couple of months ago, actually. And I wasn't feeling well and I wanted to just hang out with my cats. And I was like, oh, they're due for their flea medicine. My stray cat doesn't care. I could put flea medicine on him. He doesn't care. Purring his head off, no problem. My cats, on the other hand, no, not a chance. So I always have to sneak it. And they were hiding and running and I didn't feel good. So I couldn't bend. And I was just like, I'm so over this. So I went online and I looked, flea medicine pills, flea medicine that doesn't smell, trying to find a solution. And I did finally find pills. They had to be prescribed by the vet. They were obscenely expensive. I do not recommend it because I was in such a stupor. I was like, I don't care. It's not worth it to go through the stress every 30 days. So I've been giving them the pills, but now they're almost out. So I think I'm going to let the script lapse because I don't want to dish out a couple $100 again for flea meds.
Yeah, well, my vet says it has to be Revolution Plus, and because that takes care of ear mites and a lot of other things besides just fleas. So they're adamant about that.
Yeah, we use that for the rescue. But like I said, as I was at the point where I'm like, I'm doing this for cats outside. I want to do this with mine all day and have mine running away from me. I want a lap cap, damn it.
I know. I thought I could make Max into that, but I haven't been able to. But Kushi comes and sits on us every once in a while. But I did want to bring up something about that photo that I texted to you the other day about Lily. Yeah. So Lily was on the top of the cat tree, which is against a glass door out to the porch, so they can sit on the top of the cat tree and look through out to the backyard. My cats aren't spoiled at all, are they? It's in the family room.
Overlooking. It's like you're listing a real estate listing. Oh, you got a cat.
Yes, here's Kushi.
Split second. Hi, Kushi.
Yeah.
It's like a real estate listing. If you don't want this house, show it to your cats. They'll talk you into it.
Yeah. So she was on the top tier and she has the cutest little tail. It ends at a perfect point. And her tail was hanging off a little. So I went up and played with her tail a little. Then my daughter went up and played with her tail. So the next time I looked at her, she was sitting with her butt against the glass door and her tail straight up along the door.
They can't touch this.
No, it was like, leave my tail alone. And she's just looking at us like, ha ha ha.
You can't get it. Yeah, I said she looked like a cat tree topper for a Christmas tree. She was sitting like a perfect. We'll have to put the picture up.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, she did. Yeah. So, but I had talked last time about Cushy having Bartonella, and I'm waiting to get Max's results back. But I think we're going to get rid of all their toys and start with fresh ones, because I think it's like probably
that is a good
in their
tip.
toys.
Yeah, not even just that, but just in general. Whenever one cat gets sick, the first thing I do is I pick all the toys up so they're not slobbering on each other's toys back and forth.
Yeah, but he's had it for a long time. So I think, and they don't seem that interested in these toys that we have now. So maybe they stink to them or something, because Bartonella makes your breath stinky too. So it may be that they stink. So I'm going to, and there's a lot of toys to get rid of, but I think it's time. My daughter and I had discussed it. So she's leaving in a couple of weeks to go up to Maine to take a nursing position. So we may do a shopping spree before she goes and buy new toys for the cats.
You might be a cat person if you're excited to go cat toy shopping.
Yes.
What I've been doing is rotating them out. And it's funny because my friend came over and she's like, wow, these are some really nice wine boxes. Like, do you have like fancy wine in there? So my husband works at a wine online retailer. And I'm like, no, that's cat toy box. So we purposely rotate them in and out because then they get bored. And then we also have a little bucket, like the plastic barbecue beach buckets that you use for outside. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like drink buckets, whatever. And my one cat, if I put all the toys in that, he just dumps it over and pulls out the toys he wants. So we rotate them out for when they get bored. So it's like they're new again. And we also have catnip spray. So we'll respray them. And my friend, she puts catnip in a Ziploc and then puts the toys in after she washes and dries them. And lets them sit, and then she takes them out again. I haven't tried that, but that sounds clever.
She washes and dries the cat toys.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
the
dedicated.
Ones without the stuffing. Well, if they're favorites. She has older, more particular cats. So
no, she's dedicated. That's hilarious.
You're like, trash it. Next.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple boxes now in the sunroom for the cats, and there's this one long skinny one, and Cushy loves that one. He loves having a box to go into. He goes in there and he just beats the heck out of it. Just like rips it up and bounces it around and claws it and everything. I think he's taking out his anger on the box. And then he comes walking out like, there.
Take that.
Take that. Yeah.
I was looking for a set of dice to use, or is it dice? Oh Lord, I just broke my brain. But I couldn't just find like regular dice.
Okay, that is going in the sound bite. I just broke my brain.
It's been a week, you guys. But we couldn't just find regular dice, and my friend was like, oh, I'm at Five Below and they have this thing, like if you want. It was just this giant tube of like 50 different types of dice. I'm just gonna keep saying it like that now. And so every once in a while when I pull the thing out, because I'm like, well, one day we might need the other ones, but it's a crappy container, so sometimes it falls off the game shelf. And there was just one little like octagonal die. That is Derek's favorite toy now. So whenever anybody comes to my house, they're like, oh, I found this. I didn't want you to lose it. I'm like, no, put it back on the floor. It's Derek's. In the middle of the night, you just hear ping, 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 like hitting it against the wall. He goes nuts.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. My previous cats have really loved the laser. They would do like, they did the Matrix, because they would like climb the walls. But these cats aren't really interested in the laser at all.
So only 2 of my cats are. And I have a new laser that you can actually rotate to different shapes of laser. So it's like a regular laser. Then it could be it looks like a mouse. It looks like a star. It looks like, so we'll have to link all these cool things up. But the absolute favorite toy right now is, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a little circular plastic fabric-y thingy. Yes, I'm very good at describing things. And then it has a little butterfly thing coming out the top. And then you hook a toy underneath the fabric, and it spins in circles in all random directions. And the cats go nuts attacking it, flipping it over, and it's rechargeable.
Yeah, my cats used to love that too. And then I haven't tried that for them lately. I have one of those too. I have everything. But then I had one that they like for a little bit, and then they lose interest. And Richard hates it. But it's this little blue container with a hole. And inside the hole is a little mouse thing, like a furry thing, and it pops out and pops back in, and it makes noise. And
Nope, not in my house. Bye.
yeah, so Richard's like, turn that thing off. So
Yeah.
they'll play with it for a couple minutes and they'll get sick of it. So, but I still turn it on for them every once in a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
Loki's favorite toy actually was an Oops gift. My friend has dogs and she thought she was ordering a giant, like, destroyable skunk stuffed animal thing for her dog. And when it came, it was like teeny weeny little like cat toy. So she
oh,
gave it to Loki and it kind of looked like him because it was a skunk and he was a tuxedo long hair.
oh,
And so in the middle of the night, you'd hear him making noises. And so I would
oh.
record video at like 3 a.m. and text it to my friends saying, thanks, Aunt Jen. Loki loves this at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, yeah, I tried to. So last night I was bad. My daughter and she's leaving in 2 weeks. So we're like, okay, we had both been tired during the day, but we got our second win. So
Mhm.
we stayed up till midnight watching SpongeBob on net. I don't know if it's Netflix or Amazon. Anyway, we watched the very first episode of SpongeBob, and it was, SpongeBob is just hilarious. I don't know if you.
It's not that I never got into it. It became popular when I was in college working 19 jobs and going to class. So,
Oh, so you never.
yeah,
Well,
so
you
my
should
youngest
go.
sister's into it. And I actually have friends from college that were really into it too, because their siblings watched it.
You should go back and watch it, Danielle. It's hilarious.
I'll add it to my
It's
list. I'm going to be on bed rest for a couple of
yeah,
weeks coming
yeah,
up. So,
yeah, and there's a lot of episodes. So, I mean, if you want something that's binge worthy, I mean, some of them, the later ones, we don't think are as good as some of the earlier ones,
mhm.
but
I'll have
it's
to add
still
that to my
funny.
list. The other thing I
Good.
have on my list right now is if anybody's familiar with Exploding Kittens, the card game. Have you ever
There's
heard of
a
it?
there's a TV show for it
Well,
now.
that's what I was gonna say. I have it on my watch list. So I know you're shocked. I'm in a couple of cat groups. And everyone's like, wow, did you watch it? And I'm like, don't spoil it. It's on my
I
watch list from when I'm on bed rest.
I saw that. I'm like, Exploding Kittens. That sounds
It's a fun
horrible.
game.
Is it?
It was one of those games where I remember I was really cranky because we went on a family vacation, which that's not why I was cranky, but we had to drive. It was in West Virginia. So we did a ton of driving. And we stayed in like a giant like cabin. I'm using air quotes. It was really a house on a campground, in my opinion, but it was really nice. And they brought the game out, and as soon as the kids started explaining the instructions, I was like, "Nope, Auntie Nell needs a glass of wine or something because I'm just not following." But like once you start playing, it is so fun,
Is it?
so
Well,
fun.
I mean, my daughter and I have to play that. So yeah, so I stayed up till midnight. So I wanted to sleep in a little bit this morning. I woke up, I wanted to do a little bit of meditating in bed, just kind of get my thoughts together for the day. And Kushi was like, come on, you got to
Up
get out of
already.
bed, get up. And I mean, Richard was up and they could access anything they needed. They had food and water and everything, but
Mhm.
no,
They just wanted you.
it's so funny because I have the dry food bowl full all the time,
Mhm.
So I go down, first thing I get down this morning, Max goes over and starts eating out of the dry food bowl. It's like,
That's all he wanted. He just wanted you to watch him eat.
I know, right? They're so
I might have
funny.
to actually stop leaving the free feeding bowl out because Thor doesn't eat that much, but he's getting like solid. And last year when he
Mm.
went for his annual appointment, and he's pretty active now. He wasn't then though. My vet was like, you gotta get him down a little bit. So we play with him, he runs around. And even now, like if I get up and say Turkey, I can't even say it because he'll
Mhm.
come running and going, yeah, I want some Turkey. But he runs around the house all day long. But he just keeps putting on weight. So I think I have to get the freestanding food out of there.
Yeah. Well,
Then
now
I'll
right.
never sleep again.
I know. He'll want it all night long.
Yeah.
Well, right now I have Kushi at my feet and Max just came in.
Nice.
They're not fussing, which is
Mhm.
good, but they might start. So
I
anyway,
think we have so much stuff to talk about. We could do this every day. But I think I want to share one of the facts that I found.
yes, I was going to say, do we have any facts? Because that's what we're
Yeah.
going to do today.
Yeah. So I'm going to randomly scroll and pick one because I wrote like 10 different things down. So I want
And
to
some
talk
of them
about.
we already talked about and already knew. And most of them
Yeah.
were stuff that we already know anyway, because we're
Yeah.
cat ladies.
Yeah. So you know what I'll do? I'll do like the maybe lesser known interesting facts. Maybe they're not so interesting, but they are to me. So I did share a story a while back about when we took Thor to the groomer because his long hair, I said he's a big boy. Sometimes he has trouble and he gets a couple knots. And he came back and his whiskers were cut. So the groomer swore they didn't do it or it was an accident. Fine, it happens. And he's not very easy. He was probably flinging around and they got it by accident. But I know what my cat looks like. His whiskers were definitely cut. But if you didn't know already, whiskers are very sensitive on cats, very sensitive. So they have specialized whiskers. They're called vibrissae. Let's go with that. I can't speak today, so that's fine. Good thing we have a podcast that we have to speak on, and I can't speak.
You're doing great.
Like I said, they're
cares.
really, I just want to emphasize how sensitive they are. And they're actually used to help them navigate. So the whiskers help them navigate in the dark. So even though cats also have very good eyesight in the dark, it helps them navigate because they can touch things. And also it helps them be sensitive to heat and cold. So like I always freaked out about like leaving the stove on when I first had my cat because he jumped all over the counter.
Right.
And you know, at that time I Googled everything because I didn't know what it was doing. And that's when I learned like, yeah, you shouldn't keep an open flame by a cat, but they're smart enough that if it's hot, they can sense it with their whiskers. And also too, it helps them figure out if they could fit in a tight space or not, because they can kind of figure out like the length of their whiskers is kind of proportionate to their body, which I thought was pretty cool. And now I'm going to look at every single cat I meet and see if that's true or not.
Yeah, I had heard that for a long time, that their whiskers help them gauge whether or not they can get through an opening. So yeah, we'll have to check that out. And so another cat fact that I guess they see in the dark, but they always land on their feet. So that's, I think, true if they have enough time to turn around. But if you drop them from a short ways, they're not going to be able to turn around.
Yeah, that was another book I was actually starting to read. Everybody keeps, so one, I like books. Sensitive subject in my house because I'm not allowed to get any more, but 2 more are coming. Shh. But people gift me books too that are related to cats. And I started reading one and it said the reason why, like when you throw a cat out of a window versus a person out of a window, the person tenses up. So if they fall, they're like shattering everything. Whereas the cat is just relaxed and those two go into a natural position.
Yeah, but you can't throw it from too high or it will die. I mean, don't test
Dr.
this.
Stray jumped out of my 2nd story window and I thought he was dead. I almost threw up because I was like, oh my God, and ran around the house. And he's like, oh, I'm fine. I just didn't want to be in your house. Leave me alone.
Well, when we lived in Atlanta, we had a 2-story family room, like open family room. And there was a walkway above where the bedroom, you went to get to the bedrooms. You know what I'm talking about. And we had a cat. He has since passed. He was like one of the dumbest cats I've ever had in my life. His name was Sparky.
Was he a ginger cat?
No, he was a gray tabby, you know, but I don't know. He just,
I don't know why they give ginger cats a bad rap. It's like a thing. People say orange cats are dumb.
No,
they're pretty smart.
No. But he twice jumped from the railing, the top of the railing. Richard and I were sitting on the sofa and all of a sudden, whomp, there's this cat body in between us on the sofa.
Yeah.
He was fine.
Yeah, it says too, like going in the other direction, that cats can jump up to 6 times the length of their body, I think was the other one on here, but we'll save the other facts I have for another day because I know we're pretty much up on time.
Yeah.
But I just want to finish one more sentence I had on mine and I'll let you wrap up. In addition to the whiskers and like using it to see at night too, they do have superior night vision because they have a high number of rod cells in their eyes, which make them sensitive to low light levels. So they can actually see better in low light than bright light. That I didn't know. I knew they had good night vision, but I didn't realize they could see better low light than dark. That's why they play a fun game of making me play hopscotch in the dark on my way to the bathroom because they could see me, but I can't see them.
Oh, I know. It's
like, oh, she won't step on me. And I have to remind them I don't have cat eyes. I can't see them.
Oh, it's dangerous. Max sometimes sleeps on the stairs and he's black. You cannot see him. But so there are a lot more cat facts. And actually, Danielle, do you think people could contact us through the Facebook group if they have something?
Yeah, they can always email us. They could send a message. I'll include that in our little wrap up. Did you have anything else you wanted to add for today, though?
I think we've done enough for today. I could talk to you about cats for the rest of the day, Danielle.
Yeah, but we have meetings and a job. We know all that important stuff.
Off. Yeah, so I think we're done.
All right, cool. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We are the Jersey PodCats. You can find us at thejerseypodcats.com. We have a Facebook group called the Jersey PodCats Podcast Community. We're also on Instagram. We've been a little slacking there, but we're going to get that all up to date there. Email us at, you can send it to Danielle at thejerseypodcats.com or Elizabeth at thejerseypodcats.com if you'd like to be a guest or if you have cool facts you'd like us to share, and we'll give you a shout out on the show.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. Give this podcast a rating so other cat lovers can find it. Connect with the Jersey PodCats on social media or visit thejerseypodcats.com and leave a message sharing a story or question about cats. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next episode.